Have you ever wondered why Italians seem to live longer, healthier lives than Americans, staying vibrant and energetic well into their 80s, 90s, and even beyond 100? What if the reason wasn't genetics or advanced healthcare, but something much simpler hidden in their daily routines? And most importantly, what if these same habits could be adopted by you starting today? In this video, I'll reveal 4 Italian longevity secrets that could completely transform the way you eat, move, connect, and manage stress, practices most Americans have never even considered. You'll hear about a 78-year-old woman from Ohio who lowered her blood pressure by 40 points in just 3 months, and learn why certain aspects of gym culture may actually be speeding up the aging process. These insights will reshape how you think about aging, and you'll want to stay until the very end, because the 4th secret, known as La Dolce Vita, is so simple yet so powerful, it could change your life in just 1 hour. This is the key to not just living longer, but living better, with lasting health, energy, and joy. Before we begin, I'd truly appreciate it if you give this video a like. It helps me continue sharing valuable lessons for healthy aging. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, let's get started. Difference 1. The Italian meal ritual versus American speed eating. One of the clearest contrasts between the two cultures is how they approach meals. And this difference has profound implications for health and longevity. In Italy, meals are rooted in tradition, slow, mindful, and centered on connection, while in America, eating is often rushed, distracted, and treated as just another task to get through. Research from Harvard Medical School highlights the impact. People who take at least 20 minutes to eat have much lower rates of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity compared to those who finish in under 10 minutes. Decades of studies on the Mediterranean diet, closely tied to Italian eating habits, consistently show that those who follow these practices live longer, healthier lives with far fewer chronic diseases. To see the difference, think of Frank, a 72-year-old from Texas. Like many Americans, he often grabbed fast food and finished it in his car in barely 7 minutes. That pace never gave his brain time to register fullness, which led to overeating and dangerous blood sugar spikes. His digestive system, forced to work under constant strain, aged faster and increased his risk for serious metabolic problems. The average American meal, lasting barely 7 minutes, is often eaten while multitasking, watching TV, scrolling on a phone, or even driving. This rushed pattern triggers stress hormones like cortisol, which disrupt digestion and block proper nutrient absorption, adding yet another burden to health. In sharp contrast, Italians treat meals as a deliberate, almost sacred ritual designed to nourish both body and spirit. In traditional Italian households, meals typically last 20 to 30 minutes. Families gather around the table, free from screens and work distractions. They chew slowly, savor every bite, and enjoy real conversation, creating both relaxation and connection. This isn't just cultural, it's a science-backed habit that supports longevity. Eating slowly gives the brain time to register fullness, lowering the risk of overeating. It also reduces cortisol levels, which helps control inflammation and boosts nutrient absorption by as much as 40%. Relaxed meals activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and digest mode, allowing digestion to work at its best. For Frank, adopting the Italian 20-minute meal rule was life-changing. By setting a timer and slowing down, he naturally ate smaller portions without feeling deprived. His digestion improved, his energy became steady, and he shed 25 pounds in just a few months, all without ever following a restrictive diet. This simple adjustment shows just how powerful mindful eating can be. On the other hand, the consequences of speed eating are severe. Eating too quickly leads to insulin spikes that fuel systemic inflammation, damaging arteries, joints, and vital organs. Cardiologists at Johns Hopkins warn that fast eaters face a 200% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous cluster of high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and visceral fat that dramatically shortens life expectancy. This inflammatory chain reaction accelerates cellular aging, paving the way for chronic diseases and reducing overall longevity. The good news? The solution is simple, accessible to everyone, and requires no special tools or expensive treatments. It starts with your very next meal. Set a timer for 20 minutes and resist finishing before it goes off. Place your fork down between bites. Chew thoroughly and pay attention to the flavors, textures, and aromas on your plate. If you're sharing the meal, turn it into a social moment. Conversation not only eases stress, but also supports healthy digestion. Adopting this one habit can curb overeating, boost nutrient absorption, lower stress hormones, and even undo years of harm from rushed meals. The effects build over time, so the sooner you begin, the more profound the benefits will be. Why wait for the perfect moment to change when the perfect time is right now? If you're still here, it tells me these lessons are resonating with you, and I truly appreciate your time. Now, let's move to the second major difference: daily movement versus gym culture. Italians tend to embrace consistent, gentle activity woven naturally into their routines, while many Americans depend heavily on high-intensity workouts at the gym. This contrast plays a critical role in aging and long-term health. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that people who engage in steady, low-intensity movement throughout the day live significantly longer than those who rely on bursts of intense exercise, followed by long stretches of sitting. The Italian model of incidental exercise, walking to the market, climbing stairs, tending a garden, offers a sustainable, low-stress path to longevity. In contrast, the American gym-centric approach often pushes the body to extremes. Take Carol, a 68-year-old from Arizona, for example. She spent 3 hours twice a week doing heavy cardio and weightlifting. Yet outside those sessions, she was mostly sedentary. This all-or-nothing pattern, so common in the US, can backfire. High-intensity workouts spike cortisol, inflame the joints, and often leave older adults more depleted than energized. Studies show that high-intensity workouts followed by long periods of inactivity create oxidative stress, speeding up cellular aging and raising the risk of injury, especially after 60. Over time, this pattern often worsens joint pain, muscle strain, and even cardiovascular stress, as orthopedic experts at Harvard Medical School have noted. Italians, however, take a very different approach. They weave gentle, consistent movement into their daily lives without calling it exercise. Walking to local markets, climbing stairs, tending gardens, or simply strolling through the neighborhood all add up naturally throughout the day. This steady activity keeps the heart engaged, preserves muscle, and supports healthy circulation without sparking the inflammation that intense workouts can cause. A typical Italian may walk 20 to 30 minutes daily while shopping or socializing, gaining major health benefits without gym memberships or fancy equipment. This rhythm matches the body's aging process, protecting joints and connective tissues from unnecessary strain. When Carol shifted to this Italian style of movement, she traded her exhausting gym sessions for daily 30-minute walks at a comfortable pace, often while chatting with neighbors or running errands. The change was remarkable. Her joint pain eased, her energy soared, and her sleep improved dramatically. Unlike the American gym culture that prizes intensity over consistency, the Italian model focuses on sustainability. High-impact workouts may suit the young, but for older adults, they can create tiny joint injuries that lead to chronic inflammation and long-term mobility issues. This cycle of extreme effort followed by rest disrupts the body's natural rhythm, robbing it of the steady benefits that come from gentle, consistent movement. What makes the Italian approach so appealing is its simplicity. It requires no costly memberships or radical lifestyle shifts, just small choices woven into everyday life. Park a bit farther from the store to add steps. Take stairs instead of elevators. Walk around during phone calls or choose to stroll to nearby places rather than drive. Gardening, light housework, or gentle stretching all count toward your daily activity goal. Aim for about 30 minutes of low-intensity movement spread throughout the day, focusing on consistency rather than intensity. This steady rhythm supports joint health, preserves energy, and boosts circulation without overwhelming the body. The rewards are profound. Lower risk of chronic disease, sharper mental clarity, and better emotional well-being, especially when activities include social moments like walking with friends. Unlike gym-based workouts that can feel draining or isolating, incidental movement flows naturally into daily life, making it far easier to sustain long-term. Don't wait for the perfect time. Begin with small, intentional steps today. Your body will thank you with greater vitality and resilience as you age. Difference 3. Community connection versus social isolation. One of the most striking contrasts between Italians and Americans in aging lies in the strength of their social ties compared to the rising epidemic of isolation in the United States. This isn't just a lifestyle preference. It's a critical factor for health and longevity. Social isolation has been identified as a silent killer, with serious consequences for both body and mind. A landmark Johns Hopkins study that followed more than 16,000 adults for over a decade revealed that isolation raises the risk of premature death by 50%. That level of risk is on par with smoking 15 cigarettes a day or living with severe obesity. The same study showed that people with strong social networks live longer, maintain sharper cognitive function, have lower rates of age-related diseases like heart disease and diabetes, and enjoy better overall health compared to those who are isolated. In Italy, community connection is deeply woven into daily life, serving as a natural shield against loneliness. Consider 83-year-old Yepi from a small Italian village. Every Sunday, he gathers with his children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren for a lively, multi-generational meal. The table is filled with conversation, stories, and laughter, an atmosphere that nourishes both body and spirit. These gatherings are more than social occasions. They reaffirm Yepi's role as a cherished family elder, giving him a sense of purpose and belonging that strengthens both his emotional and physical health. Beyond family ties, Italian culture encourages daily community engagement, whether at local markets, cafes, or piazzas, where neighbors greet one another, share news, and offer support. These traditions keep Italians deeply connected across all ages, making isolation far less common as they grow older. Contrast this with Linda, a 76-year-old from Michigan, whose story reflects the growing epidemic of social isolation among American seniors. Most of her meals are eaten alone in front of the television after losing touch with old friends. Her adult children, busy with their own lives, only visit during the holidays, leaving her with little regular social contact. But the toll of isolation extends far beyond loneliness. It sets off a biological chain reaction that accelerates aging and increases vulnerability to disease. Chronic loneliness floods the body with stress hormones like cortisol, weakening the immune system. The brain interprets isolation as a survival threat, activating the fight-or-flight response meant for emergencies. When this state is prolonged, it becomes harmful, leading to elevated cortisol, higher blood pressure, and inflammation, all risk factors for heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and cognitive decline. The toll of social isolation on the body is staggering. Seniors who lack regular connection face a 64% higher risk of dementia, along with elevated rates of depression, anxiety, and weakened immune systems that resemble those of someone 10 years older. Even the brain shows structural decline, with key areas for memory, decision-making, and emotional regulation shrinking without consistent social interaction. Chronic loneliness drives inflammation, raising the risk of cancer, slowing healing, and weakening the body's ability to fight infections. These changes don't just lower quality of life, they cut it short. Italian culture offers a powerful antidote through traditions centered on family and community. The Sunday family meal, treated as sacred, unites multiple generations to share food, stories, and laughter, reinforcing bonds that last a lifetime. Outside the family, Italians stay deeply connected to neighbors and local communities through simple daily routines, like shopping at markets or meeting friends at cafes. Though small, these interactions provide steady human contact that strengthens emotional resilience and physical health. They act as natural longevity practices, protecting against the harmful effects of isolation. For Americans, embracing this doesn't require an expensive social club or drastic lifestyle change. Start with intentional actions, what some call the Italian Sunday strategy. Dedicate one day a week to meaningful connection. Host a family meal, reconnect with old friends, or engage in community activities. Volunteering, joining faith groups, attending community centers, or sharing hobbies with others can all help build strong, lasting relationships. Even small daily interactions, a quick chat with a neighbor, a kind word to a store clerk, or a friendly wave to a fellow walker, add up to real health benefits when practiced consistently. The key is making social connection a non-negotiable part of life. Just 1 week of isolation can chip away at both physical and mental well-being, while steady connection builds resilience and extends longevity. Now let's turn to the fourth, and perhaps most surprising, difference: stress. Italians live by la dolce vita, the sweet life, a philosophy that values rest, relaxation, and balance as essential to health. In sharp contrast, the American hustle culture glorifies constant productivity even after retirement, trapping many in a cycle of relentless stress. What if the secret to living past 100 isn't about doing more, but about doing less with greater joy? Science supports this. Research from the CDC shows that chronic stress accelerates cellular aging by shortening telomeres, the protective caps on our DNA. Shorter telomeres mean faster aging, higher disease risk, and a shorter lifespan. Italians, by embracing a slower pace and prioritizing stress management, shield themselves from this invisible but powerful driver of decline. Shortened telomeres are directly tied to reduced lifespan and a higher risk of age-related disease. For many Americans, the pressure to stay productive lingers long after retirement. Take Henry, a 69-year-old from Florida. Even after leaving his career, he fills his days with endless obligations and constant worries about finances, health, and family. This non-stop busyness traps his body in a fight-or-flight state, flooding him with cortisol and adrenaline. While useful in emergencies, chronic exposure to these hormones is toxic. Research shows that people under persistent stress age at the cellular level up to 40% faster, leaving them more vulnerable to heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and cognitive decline. Italians, on the other hand, embrace a slower, intentional rhythm of life that naturally eases stress. La dolce vita is not laziness or lack of ambition. It's the conscious choice to place well-being above constant productivity. Italians build stress relief into their daily lives with leisurely meals shared with family, afternoon naps known as riposo, and unhurried walks through their neighborhoods. These are not luxuries, but powerful habits that preserve both health and longevity. For instance, a typical Italian may spend an hour enjoying a meal with family or friends, sharing laughter and conversation. This simple act naturally lowers cortisol and builds emotional resilience. These daily rituals serve as a buffer, giving the body time to recover and repair from life's stresses. The science behind this lifestyle is clear. Chronic stress, so common in America, unleashes a cascade of damage. Elevated cortisol harms blood vessels, fuels inflammation, and weakens the immune system, leaving the body vulnerable to infections and chronic disease. By contrast, The Italian way of weaving relaxation and connection into everyday life protects health on a cellular level. Regular stress management practices preserve telomere length, reduce inflammation, and strengthen immunity. One study in Nature found that individuals who engage in mindfulness, relaxation, or social connection maintain lower inflammatory markers and better cellular health compared to those trapped in constant stress. Adopting the Italian approach to stress doesn't require moving to a Mediterranean village or giving up all responsibilities. It begins with small, intentional practices woven into daily life. Take time each day for something simple, yet restorative: reading, gardening, or sharing a distraction-free meal with loved ones. Learn to say no to non-essential obligations and create room for rest. Even a short 10-minute walk, free from emails or multitasking, can lower stress hormones and sharpen mental clarity. Adding mindfulness practices like deep breathing or meditation offers another easy way to calm the nervous system. By choosing rest and connection over constant productivity, Americans can embrace the Italian philosophy of la dolce vita and enjoy the health benefits of a more balanced, stress-conscious lifestyle. Ultimately, these traditions of strong community ties and stress reduction reveal powerful lessons for healthy aging and greater longevity. By focusing on meaningful social connections and embracing a slower, more intentional pace of life, Americans can counter the harmful effects of isolation and chronic stress, opening the door to longer, healthier, and more fulfilling years. These are the 4 Italian longevity secrets that can truly add decades to your life. From the 20-minute meal ritual to gentle daily movement, strong community bonds, and the philosophy of la dolce vita for stress management, each practice holds the power to transform how we age. Stories like Brenda's in Ohio or Frank's in Texas prove that it's never too late to restore vitality and joy. So, which of these secrets resonates with you most? Is it slowing down your meals, adding more natural movement into your day, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply allowing yourself time to pause and relax? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one and look forward to hearing your stories. If you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Healthy Aging Blueprint channel for more science-backed tips to help you live longer, stronger, and happier. Wishing you health, peace, and joy always. And don't forget to join us on this journey to a better, brighter future.